I'm live. I am live. Nice. And I can edit my title. Okay. Alright. I can probably delete or just keep the last video. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even care. Yes. We are pretty much live again. Let me just change a couple things. Change the title. And then we can rock and roll. Boom. We're gonna talk about... How do I name this? Let's name this what Darwinism, wait, no. I'll name this why split testing cold emails is important. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Very simple. Live chat, anyone. I need slow mode, save. Boom. Okay, that's my camera. That's my chat, in case I need it. Boom. Let's actually do this. Restore chat. Then we can do this. I am genuinely... I really like this. And if I wanted to screen capture, right? Am I going to cook myself, share this window? Okay. I need a scene right now. Yes, we're building the plane as we go. There are surely some scenes that I can use. Presentation. Where's my presentation? This works, doesn't it? Awesome. I hope I can use this in hindsight, like in after we're done. But yeah, anyway, let's get started with the video. So, why split testing in cold email is super important. I might have to sneeze in a bit, but it's all good. It's chaotic anyway. Like at this point, I'm good. We're gonna do something. It's gonna work out just fine. This is really good. This is a very good experience. Okay, let's go. Why split testing cold emails is important. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is John. I run LeadArc, a B2B cold email lead generation agency that is helping SaaS businesses get more demos booked onto their calendars. And over the past years, I've sent well over 10 million cold emails, and we've booked over 1,000 demos easily for pretty large businesses so far. And we've booked meetings for our clients with companies such as Airbus, Lockheed Martin, BMW. And for that specific client, we've booked over 230 plus demos within 10 months. Let me actually show you the case study straight up as well. Because yeah, this should work, it does work. LeadArc.io/offer. If you click on there, you'll see our explainer video telling you exactly how our offer works, because our offer is essentially that we will get you qualified B2B sales demos directly onto your calendar, and you only pay per book call, right? We have this offer explainer right here. We have an AirPay case study right here with over 120 plus opportunities generated in the last 60 days. This is very, very recent. And then we have our logistics SaaS case study. Both of these are SaaS businesses, by the way, where we've booked over 230 plus demos in 10 months. And in that same time period, this business added $10 million in ARR onto their business. I'm not saying that we did all of that, but we definitely contributed to that goal. And yes, we've sent so many emails, and then I realized by looking at a spider and a mosquito that, and this sounds like a LinkedIn post, but like one thought led to the next one. I realized why split testing cold emails is so important. And there's a very nice reason for this. And by the way, if you do not believe in evolutionary theory, etc., like all good. Doesn't really matter. Still serves the purpose. Because I realized something about this thing that Darwin calls like fitness, right? Everyone talks about fitness, but barely anyone actually knows what this means. And I'm by no means a biologist, right? But fitness is perceived as the ability of a species to adapt, right? That's what people generally think this means. Like if the species can adapt, it'll be all fine, basically. But even though that's not completely wrong, it doesn't capture the true meaning of this word. Because the true meaning of this word is actually, and let me illustrate it with the point of the spider and the mosquito. I was literally in the bathroom yesterday, and I was just like, I was looking at the wall and I saw a spider, and I was like, spider. And then there was a mosquito when I entered the bathroom, right? The mosquito flew away, and it flew towards the spider. And I was like, I hope the spider catches this mosquito. And then I thought, wait, the mosquito, if that mosquito touches the spider web, it will get hung up on it, right? It will just literally like stick like glue. The mosquito will literally it will force some vibrations onto the entire web, and then the spider would go ahead and then consume that mosquito. And then I thought, wait, why does the spider not stick to the web? That's weird. Because like, what made you so that you can walk the spider web, but the mosquito can't, right? And then I thought about this specific term, and I was like, interesting. And I asked myself, do you think there were any spiders that also were able to put out spider webs, but weren't able to not stick onto the web? Like, were there spiders ever in throughout history and existence in general, was there ever a spider or a species of spiders that got stuck to the net or to the web, right? And then I thought, that would suck because they would probably all die. And I was like, they would all die. They would all die. The reason, probably, if you believe in evolutionary theory, and I'm not saying that I believe in that, but like the reason I find this so interesting is, what if genuinely this was true? There was a very, very, very weird species of spiders that got stuck on their own nets, which is why they couldn't feed off of other insects, and which is why they also died, because they literally encapsulate themselves in the web. Like moronic spiders, basically, right? What if that was true? That would basically mean that they all would have died away, and the only reason we have spiders that do not stick to webs is because that's actually competitive, right? And this made me think about fitness. Now, fitness, commonly thought as the ability of a species to adapt, assumes that the species, the spider, is actively, right? It's analyzing the environment. Let's say this is the environment, right? And we need a spider. Wait, a spider. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. So this is a spider, and the spider observes. This is an eye, obviously, right? The spider observes the environment, and then depending on what the environment actually looks like, it will come up with the ninth leg, right? That's what this assumes. But this is absolutely not true. What is true, though, is that over generations, and this is the point, actual evolutionary fitness is that over generations, the species in total, the spider, has so many genetical permutations that by random, by chance, there comes a new version of this spider. I'm just going to draw a very lazy spider. There comes a new generation of spiders, tiny portion of the entire population, that doesn't stick to spider webs, right? And then over time, as long as this thing reproduces, the probability that the next generation that comes from this spider also has that genetic permutation is pretty high, right? It probably also has other genetic permutations. But if you do this often enough, at some point you will have the perfect spider, because you just iterate from version to version, and then the only version that can possibly survive is the version that would be able to survive. So the only version of Spider is the one that we have today. The one that doesn't stick to webs. Now, what does this have anything to do with cold emails, right? This is very important. This is actually like, this is super interesting. The Spider has multiple permutations, and throughout all the permutations, there was then at the end was some version that has lived through so many years, right? Millennia. And that specific version still lives, still survived, because that specific version had enough genetical permutations, fitness, right? That over generations, more and new updates came to the new generation. And then whatever those, like, oh, by the way, surely this specific Spider that lived through some environment had then offspring that then had dysfunctional features, which then led to them dying away and then ensuring that the master race, so to say, wouldn't get this thing. So it's literally just by like, okay, we have like some input, right? This is like the new Spider. And then the black box, this is the environment, right? E for environment. And then depending on that, either the Spider dies or it lives, right? And then the dead one, let's say this is the one that survives, right? The dead one doesn't matter anymore. And then this one that maybe now has 9 legs, right? Keeps on surviving. And then it goes into the next environment. And then in this environment, having 9 legs is amazing. So it survives again, right? And then all the other ones that have 8 legs, they die. And then in here, let's assume that this specific Spider now has the ability to stick to their own webs, right? They go through this, and then in this specific environment, having that specific permutation, like sticking to your own fucking web, is dysfunctional. So that Spider dies, and then all the other ones that had this thing from before where they have 9 legs, they survive, right? So they still have 9 legs, and then they go into the next environment, etc., right? Until you have the perfect Spider. So all the permutations that are dysfunctional, they will lead to ultimate death if you look at it a long enough time horizon. Now, cold email scripts are super similar because this is trial and error in like the most basic sense, right? So basically, you have some script that you start off with, and you will send it to an environment where that specific offer that you had was, I don't know, let's say we have like some attributes to an offer. Let's build an offer, right? What are like attributes to an offer? Boom. So let's say like in general, today's best offers have some pain points that they solve and some type of mechanism, right? They have some payment terms, and then they also have some risk reversals. So let's say this is like the end status of the offer. This is like the omega offer. This is like, damn, what an offer, right? Let's say you start off in here and your offer has none of these things, right? It will probably die and it'll be over. That would be pretty bad. Like, let's say it has the first 3, right? Wait, that's not actually the point that I'm trying to make. This is kind of like, this is a very new idea, so I'm trying to like do this live so that this actually makes sense. So, wait. Let's say you have 2 offers. You send them into the first environment, right? These are competing things. These are 2 spiders, 2 types of spiders, right? These are competing things. Let's say this environment specifically really allows for both to survive. Like the first 3 would be fine. So both offers make it to the next stage, right? They're right here. They make it to the next stage. And let's say this specific offer had an audience that was a little more sophisticated. Let's say it's level 1, right? Level 1 sophistication. That would already mean that they would have some type of knowledge about the thing that you already offer, where they would now, if you look at, I don't know how to, Schwartz awareness. I hate this AI mode so much. Okay, let's say that was the first stage, right? The first level of what do you call awareness, I guess. The first environment, unaware people. So this is this, right? Unaware. Boom. And now you have the first stage, problem-aware people, right? You have a problem. Problem-aware. Boom. Problem-aware people. In this case, all the offers that do not speak to that pain point that they know they have a problem, right? That do not speak to that pain point. Let's say this one doesn't, let's say this one doesn't speak to the pain point, right? Boom. This one wouldn't survive in this specific scenario. That would be bad, right? Because this one then would die off, and the only type of offer that you would be pushing, the only email script that you're sending, would be this offer. So this will make it to the next stage. And now let's say you made it to the stage and all the offers now look like this, right? We've already removed like one thing, and now by chance we had pain point in there as well. So this works now. Let's say you go to the next stage. You have solution-aware people. So you have solution-aware people. So people know the mechanism, right? And you now have two of these things where, let's say, I would have to come up with unlimited options, by the way. I just realized, like, this is way more complicated than I thought I could draw. Wild. So I'll just explain this in speech. In this scenario, all types of offers that do not have a pain point that they talk to and a mechanism, they will basically die off, right? So even if you have the mechanism in here, you don't have any pain points. You'd be cooked still. So this would still make it, right? And then the next stage would be, well, you have product aware people. And now all of a sudden, because they are product aware, all of a sudden it's about like risk and payment terms, which basically goes into the right direction. Like, are the payment terms, do they have the right, like, are they aligned with my incentives, right? And then you have on top of that risk reversals. And at some point you have most aware people, and then all of a sudden you don't, not only do you need pain point or mechanism and the payment terms and the risk reversal, you also need a fuck ton of social proof all of a sudden, right? So if you go through this algorithm where you try something out, you fail, and then you keep the thing that actually worked, if you keep on split testing, you'll make sure that whatever market you're in, you'll always survive. That's actually what I wanted to say initially. But this is a very fresh idea, so I wanted to do it live and like, whatever. But we're here. I don't know why Fathom opened. We're here and we're doing this thing. And I wanted to present this to you because this is something that most people do not give a fuck about because it's super annoying to do. And split testing in general, right? You're not gonna make meaningful progress if you're split testing asinine bullshit. Meaning, let me actually switch to my full face cam. How do I do this? I'm so good at this stuff, man. I now have my screen share in small over here. I might actually remove that real quick. Wait, stop. Boom. Delete. Bam. You're not going to make meaningful progress if you're split testing asinine bullshit. Okay, so this is very important, and I might actually screen share our campaigns in a minute as well. But week by week, what I'm doing right now is like for ourselves, just for ourselves. I'm just talking like what we do for ourselves. We also do this for clients, but like, fuck the clients for now. For ourselves, right? What we're doing is, or what I'm doing is, I go ahead and then I have my Codex or Claude or whatever, right? I have that AI spin up 20 different variations of something that sounds similar to our offer, but is vastly differently formatted, right? You saw that our offer is like a pay-per demo thing. So it's basically, you just pay us per demo that we book, pretty much, right? It would then not take that and just like, yeah, you just pay per call we book, which would be a different split test, but it's not meaningful at all. It's the same model, right? If we look at the pyramid from a second ago, if we look at the pyramid from a second ago, the people that would be sophisticated enough to see that there are different products, right? Let's say we talk about the most aware people. Let's say we have the most aware, like this is the toughest people to sell to, right? Because they know all the options. It's super hard to differentiate yourself if you're talking to the most aware people. But if you build your offer to talk to the most aware people, you will make a fuck ton of money because there are also people that are less aware, right? And they will be like, holy shit, this is like a completely new thing. This is amazing. But if you build your offer for the most aware people, you will also then realize you can't just be saying the same thing over and over again because they are super aware. They know that pay per demo is a thing, right? A lot of, like for them, a lot of cold email agencies might have been offering this to them every single day. So in that case, if you do not spin up completely new scripts that they haven't seen before, you will not get responses from these people because there is no novelty. You can though push the most aware people to solution aware just by reframing how you actually do stuff. So you can add the mechanism on top of that and you can keep iterating completely different shit. Like vastly different scripts. Vastly different. Like we have one script, for example, where we say we will generate you 60 calls within, no, we'll generate you 10 calls within the next 60 days in exchange for a case study. Which is still our main offer, but it sounds vastly different. And it's probably not something that they've heard of in the recent times. And we get positive responses for that offer, which is wild. Right? And you can do this with basically anything. And the reason I started off with like the evolution thing, etc., is because if you are like as the god of your email scripts, right? If you have built an offer that is evolutionary fit, that will mean that every single week when you start off with new email scripts, right? This is what you should do. Every Sunday, tomorrow Sunday, every Sunday I go through our email scripts, look at the winning ones, and then spin up new ones that look completely different. That look completely, because I want more winners. I need more winners. Because having more winners means I'm diversified. I'm diversifying my risk of talking to most aware people. Because most aware people are just hard to talk to. You want to talk to unaware people. You want to seem like an alien. Like, how does he do this? This sounds super interesting. I have to respond. This is the goal, right? This is the goal. This is the goal. You need a lot of fitness in the way you run split tests. You need more and more scripts over and over again, over and over again. You need generation by generation. And by the way, you can speed up this entire process if you have a lot of sending volume. Because with a lot of sending volume, you can launch more split tests simultaneously. We're running like 20 to 30 a week. A week. Most people do that in over a year. But over a year, you have to understand, people get aware. They get aware over the course of the year. The same person that you're emailing to might jump from problem aware all the way to product aware. Because I've sent them so many emails. They're already like, they know that cold email exists, right? That's the entire thing. That's the entire thing. So this is what evolutionary fitness has to do with cold email. And I want to record more videos like these because I think this is super fun. I think this is also super real. I like live streaming. I like the idea of that. And right now we don't have any viewers at all. Like I see Leon over there, which is my co-founder. I appreciate it. Hello friend. Much love. Boom. Can I give you like a heart or something? I'll give you this whale. Done. Yes, but I want to do more of these things because I find them super entertaining, and I think this is helpful. Like, you need to split test way more, and if you are currently limited in the amount of like emails you can send per day, right? You still need to split test. Split testing always makes sense. It always makes sense because even if you can only send out like 1,000 emails a day, even in that case, like running up 10, 15, 20 email scripts per week, just new ones, just to see like what works, right? From week to week. That would be amazing. Like, you would be sending out like 5,000 emails a week. And if you wanted to have like 500 emails sent per week, you could test like 10 email scripts. Done. 10 email scripts, that means each variant would have at least 500 cents. And 500 cents is enough to just like get some idea whether this worked or not. Yes, of course. Like, of course. There's someone watching this, maybe a cold email as well. No, you need at least 5,000, etc. This is not statistically significant, etc. Just get a sense for it. Split test, go through the awareness stages, build an offer, try to build an offer that is able to get even the most sophisticated markets to respond to your offer. That's your goal. That is your goal, right? Even the most like level 5 sophistication, even in that market, your offer should be banging. And if that means that you need to launch a lot of split tests to actually find that specific wording that would resonate with the most aware people in your market, then do that. That's pretty much it. And you can find out how to do that stuff just by asking like AI, literally. You could ask AI. I mean, I learned this somehow, some way. If you want the shortcut, you can just go like into one of the links in the description. We have a school community where we teach this. I'll definitely raise prices of that because like I'm getting too many cold email agencies in there. I want to have actually my ideal customer profile. So software businesses, right? So if you are working at or own a software business, that might be for you if you want to build it in-house. If you want me to run all of this stuff for you, first link in the description, we have this offer page that you just saw. I think that makes a lot of sense. But with that said, this is my first live stream with a proper setup. Proper, right? So I hope I recorded this. I sincerely hope I recorded this. But I do think I did. So what I'll do right now is, I can even add stream markers. Yes. What I'll do right now is, I'll end the stream right here, and I'll come up with more ideas like these. If you found this helpful, you need to just like or comment or something. Just give me some hint. I'll also be still doing like the basic stuff, like how-to videos, etc. Because I know that helps the most people. But to keep myself entertained, I'll probably go live with these topics and then just yap about whatever came to mind in apparently a bathroom visit, like this one. Yes, awesome, cool stuff. I appreciate you watching. With that said, I'll close it off right here and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.